looking more towards the end here, um, the the fear that can freeze you, the fear that can freeze you from making decisions after a pandemic, after a big dip where you've taken a big loss, fear that has gripped you after you've had a personal issue where you have lost your buying power, where you've lost your job. Um, Obviously, you can't start investing until you have taken care of those investments at home that need taken care of, like paying your bills, paying your mortgage. But your goal should be to get back to zero in those situations, obviously, before you even think about investing back in the market. Invest in yourself and your family. However, once you're there, remember, not investing, and this is the next principle, is not investing, being stalemated. Not investing is risky in the long term. So staying put and not doing anything is probably the worst thing you can do. We all get tackled by um, you know setbacks. We all have uh, things that but put us two steps back before we can do one step forward. But you have to keep moving. The same thing goes for investing. Even if you are purchasing one stock, I mean, you still, or you're, you know, doing some cheap crypto buys. You have to stay ear to the ground. You have to stay invested. Bad word. You have to stay invested, just into the process, of knowing what's going on, reading, keep staying up to date on what's happening in the different types of investment genres. You have to stay ready, because if you're not ready to, the time comes and you're not prepared and you've missed your time. It's all about time pockets, and there's certain time pockets where it's time to strike. And if you're not ready, then you miss your time, you miss your long term wealth strategy, for you, your family, and there's a little bit riding on it. So um, that's the main thing. Stay plugged in and always be investing in something, whether it's your time, whether it's um, your research and things like that, um, or even just making very small purchases, $20 here, $20 there. It could mean a lot, especially if we're talking about some of those, what we talked about in a different video, talking about altcoins and making sure that we are casting a wide net right now at this point, because it could really pay off. Even a $20 investment could really yield some big gains right now in the short term. Uh, and then that would help you out with the overall strategy long term with digital currency. So the next one, always invest during a stock market crisis. So this goes along with some of the principles we've talked about before, having to do with always trying to buy low, and sell high. That's the obvious tenet that everyone understands, but it's hard to think about investing during a crisis, because usually there's something that caused the stock market crash that affects our pocketbooks, our own personal pocketbooks in some way. And uncertainty is the common thread that drives the stock market up and down. And investor insecurity is always something that is a thing. And we just have to be mentally prepared and mentally strong, that just like not investing and being paralyzed in our decision making and budgetary constraints, when we have that money, instead of deciding, well, I'm not going to invest this time. I have the money, but I'm not going to invest. I'm going to put more money back into, just a money market account, or I'm going to put more money into my entertainment budget instead of, I'm going to go. Maybe I'm going to go to the casino instead, or I'm going to go. You know what? Continue to do your strategy, whatever that strategy is, even during a crisis. Go ahead, invest like you normally would. As far as the money amount, if you can do more, that's great, because it just means there's more volatility, more people selling, and it means there's more buying opportunities. And it's irrational. It's always irrational, long termly speaking. Because short term it's rational because you're trying to think about the right now. But if you have the means during a stock market crisis, you should long term rationally think this is going to correct and it's going to come out on top. And it always does, because we live in the greatest country in the world. And we have a lot of smart people here, and we always take care of our own. And we should always remember that capitalism is about protecting your own interests, and we do a really good job of that. So always invest during a stock market crisis. We always come out on top as Americans. The next one is investing versus trading. And this one is really more about a mindset. You're investing. It means you're thinking about what you really think is a winner long term, and it's not about short term gains. Now, there's something to be said about making a short term play on a long term investment. For example, you've purchased a stock, and you see the indicators and you believe that it's going to be taking a hit in the short term, but you still believe in its long term play. You can still play off of that. You can still make a financial decision based on that and say, look, I'm going to trade off 30% of this stock because I want to hit it on the rebound. And then when it goes down, you have a buying opportunity and you can buy it back. That's fine. But if you know that if you think that a stock is a short-term play, and you don't, in your heart of hearts, you know that stock and numbers of numbers, you know that stock is a very short-term play. It's a trendy play. You know that it's just a shot in the dark. You're like, hey, look, I don't think this is good long term, but I know that people are going to be all over this in the short term. That's a coin flip, if not less odds. The EV on those types of plays, unless you have so much time you can devote to that type of deal and be able to pull the trigger on timing of when you can actually execute this correctly. You have to know exactly when to buy, when to sell, and it is the margins, the time margins are so small sometimes with those that you can really lose a lot or just waste your time trying to do these pinpoint trades. So I would say that you want to think about the long-term strategy here, and you want to think about in truly investing. If you love Disney, keep plowing money into Disney. If you don't think they're going anywhere, you don't think they're getting booted from Florida, you believe that their digital cloud delivery is rock solid, and they make great decisions, then keep plowing money into Disney. Um, and that's what we're talking about here. Um, don't buy something with the intention of getting rid of it soon. Um, True wealth is about love. Next one. So the idea here is that we can talk about finances and hitting it big and getting that next big stock, and falling in love with certain stocks and certain philosophies and do really well with that. But in the end, you have to remember that true wealth isn't about how much you accrue or you lose, but it really is about your family. So you've got to, and it's about loving yourself in a positive way, and not in a the more money I make, the better I love myself. That's not really what I'm talking about, but I'm just talking about, this is more of a gooey type of position, or principle. But true wealth is about doing those things that are timeless investments, right? Like investing in yourself, truly. So just remember that if you lose money, that your true wealth isn't affected. Your true wealth of just protect yourself, really, is what this means. Protect yourself, protect your family, and just remember where your core values are. And that's really what that is. Because if you think true wealth is your wins and your losses, and your retirement goals, and that's it, you've lost the plot, and you need to think about it as secondary, tertiary. So, and that brings us to our final principle here. The longer I'll bring it back to finances, the longer your investment horizon, the better. And that just means that you shouldn't be trying to think about retiring at age 50. You shouldn't be thinking about age 60. If you can do longer than that, if you can work longer, the longer that you can put capital into investments, the better. If your target is 73, great. Try to be more aggressive as long as you can. Keep buying in. Don't and then the other thing is invest as early as you can. My daughter, she is 17 years old, and I've already got her thinking about investing. My wife started investing at an early age because I told her that her retirement is not guaranteed by her job or anything else that used to happen, like teacher pensions or any type of manufacturing job pension. Those don't exist. You have to create your own retirement. There is no way around that. That is how we retire, is based upon what we're able to conjure ourselves and make for ourselves, truly. So remember that the earlier you start investing, the more aggressive you are, and take a few risks, but you don't want to lose your whole bankroll. Take some risks early, and make sure you really focus in that mid-level. After you've hit your late 30s, early 40s, you have to start really doubling down on your gains, on your contributions, because that's where you're really going to shore yourself up, so that you're not struggling to think about, oh no, what am I going to do now that I'm in my late 50s? Because you don't want to be there. So make sure that you keep contributing consistently, and do the typical financial things that people talk about with making it diverse and things like that in your strategy. But this has been Timeless Investing, top 15 principles of investing for 2024, and I hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time.